let me put it like this. Have you ever, during the course of your comedy career, your stand-up career, have you ever done terrorist jokes?
Sure.
Okay. Would you feel safe doing terrorist jokes on stage in Saudi Arabia?
I feel like I would do this. I feel like when I performed in Abu Dhabi, right?
Okay.
And the one thing you couldn't do is do something insulting to the sheik.
There you have it.
But
point made.
I don't know anything about him. What I did say is this. I said, there you can have as many women as you can afford.
Wives, yeah.
Wives as you can afford.
Right.
And I said, I would hope they never met each other.
Okay.
So I don't have to. Here's the thing. With people, they think it's so exact. Speaking truth to power. But it is. But only the power I am an expert in. Only the power I've experienced. I don't know what it's like to live there. I don't know what it's like to have to to bear the yoke of that. I know what it's like here. So it's a disingenuous argument to tell me that me making blanket statements about things I don't know anything about is an affront to power. I don't know anything about Saudi Arabia.
Do the same terrorist jokes you've done on American stages in Saudi Arabia
but
or Abu Dhabi or Qatar, and you will not have a good reaction after that. You might get put in jail.
What you're saying is this, that I need to do those things, or I would have. First off, I'm not talking about terrorists right now. I would talk about terrorists right now in Saudi Arabia. I talk about white domestic terrorists.
American terrorists, yeah. I get it.
So you saying that I can't talk about terrorists? I can't
Middle Eastern terrorists.
See, now you're being disingenuous.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, talk about Middle Eastern terrorism in a foreign country,
Brad,
in a Middle Eastern country.
There are more terrorists that look like Trump.
I'm not arguing that.
So
I'm not saying one is worse than the other. All I'm saying is there's the fact that they told you do not talk about the sheik tells you right there that it's a whole different situation. Because when you go, has there ever been a club you performed at where they said, don't talk about the president?
I tell you what did happen.
What happened?
I performed, they asked me to perform for George Bush.
Okay.
And they wanted to vet my jokes.
Wait, what was this?
It was during his administration. And they wanted to vet my jokes, and I wouldn't do it.
George W. Bush, I
Yes.
assume. Okay.
And I wouldn't do it.
Hold on. This is an interesting story. I hadn't heard of this before. So you were asked to perform at the White House?
Yes.
You and who else, or just you?
I can only tell you me.
No idea. Okay, got it. So they asked you to perform, and they said what? No jokes about the president?
They wanted to vet my jokes, and I'm like, no.
Okay.
No. What you are saying, you said I couldn't talk about terrorists. I know more about terrorists, domestic terrorists, than I ever did about Saudi. I know more about terrorists. Who blew up the building in Oklahoma? They were domestic terrorists.
Correct.
Who shot up Mother Maranatha? They were domestic terrorists. Mm-hmm. Who attacked the Capitol? They were domestic terrorists. So you made the argument I couldn't talk about terrorism. To me, the terrorist that is integral in my life, where I have a focus on, I could talk about terrorism, but they don't look anything like them. They look more like us.
Okay, make a 9/11 joke. Make a 9/11 joke in Saudi Arabia. Make a 9/11 joke. I mentioned the 16 people that came from Saudi.
Here's the thing.
All I'm saying is,
an argument.
It's not an argument. It's a valid point. The fact is, they might throw you in jail as you leave the stage.
It's not a valid point.
They might actually throw you in jail when you're on the stage.
I'll tell you why it's not a valid point.
Okay.
Because that happened 20-some years ago. I don't know about anything I'm talking about 20 years ago that I would make a joke about now. Now, if we're talking about terrorism, I could talk about what just happened in Chicago as terrorism. But what you want to do is connect these things together. I could say certainly that from my experience, and that's all a comic is, all an artist is, he draws from the well of his experiences. I have never had an occasion to live under the yoke of the Saudi family or Saudi Arabia. I have had an opportunity and experience to live here. And I know that there are more black and brown people that have been killed or hurt or maligned or castigated in the name of domestic terrorism than ever I have in international terrorism. I don't know one person I've ever known that got hurt or challenged by Saudi by Middle Eastern terrorism. I know a lot from domestic terrorism. I know a lot.
we can agree to disagree.
All right.
We agree to disagree on this one.
All right.